we've been talking about looking for this, even looking for a question that raises a question. What is the new narrative? What is the? We've been looking and trying to be very careful with the words that we've been trying to use, obviously, because now it's words are so perverted in a way. No, I mean it's very difficult to use the same words as freedom as somebody else is using it for other means or
even
so
autonomy.
Exactly, for example, and I think, I mean, we've drawn to a point where for example, okay, we're looking for a new explanation on things. The reason being, just in very, for the lack of better words and in small terms, the reason being because we are desperate that most of the actions that have been taking place maybe have not led us or have not changed things.
Yeah.
No? So we're looking for this other narrative, like you put it, which is a great thing. There's another way of looking at it that maybe that it's something that we've been thinking of, that about this understanding of the land, about this primal, more elemental way of understanding without the apocalypse theory, without the female being the guilty person that drove us from paradise, or, you know, like without those issues in a way, which is the understanding that let's call it the shaman can help you understand your own journey and your own way of understanding things and your own way of getting connected to the land in a way, in a very sort of, this is the best way I can describe it in short terms, you know. And thinking that maybe there is, because there is a relationship between the shaman explaining and helping you find your own explanation, you know, like taking you into this journey. And I just see from what we've been talking about that there's a strong relationship because we mentioned the word indigenous. Doesn't matter if it's indigenous from Latin America, from America, the continent. I mean, indigenous from anywhere where there's this root, where there's this understanding and there's this kind of hints of explanation that they can give for you to understand. Do you think they are aware of seeing the shaman as a threat?
I think there's an awareness of deeply rooted communities, communities that have rich stories and that are governed by values other than profit, or therefore not for sale, right? That's the greatest threat. I mean, capitalism can cope with anyone who can be bought for some price. And if you have communities that don't believe that land is a commodity, right? That it can't be owned so that you can't make a deal, right? Because you have a different story about the relationship with the land and what it means, then the model breaks down. You know,
how does
I think we should be wary of how does it
break down?
Well, because you have to be able to. Everyone's supposed to have a price, and even if the price is, well, we want a greater percentage of the profits, you know, you know, that can all be negotiated. But if it's actually not for sale, because you don't believe that the land can be owned by anyone, it's not yours to sell. If you really believe that, because you believe in, you know, you believe that land is not a commodity, which is what many indigenous cultures believe. Then how can you get a deal to have a mine? How can you get a deal to do resource extraction? So I think it's whenever anybody doesn't have a price, whether because of their belief system, whatever that belief system is, then they have to be taken out. And I saw this in Iraq with Muqtada al-Sadr, where you know he has consistently been vilified as, you know, this fundamentalist, and sure, he is a religious fundamentalist, but so are many of the people, most all of the people that the Americans are doing business with. What sets Sadr apart is that he actually doesn't seem to have a price, right? He can't be bought off just with a piece of power, or just, well, you control the women, we'll control the oil, you know. He actually is an economic nationalist. He has that idea, and and it's when those, I think it's that kind of a belief that is very threatening.
And
I don't know about the idea of the shaman. I don't know about the consciousness of that idea.